Hi, and welcome to OEM Magazine's Rise Series, where I sit down for a quick chat with the best and brightest of the next generation of packaging and processing. Today, we're talking to 𝗜𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗎, Marketing Specialist at Morrison Container Handling Solutions. Mia was recently tabbed as an On the Rise Award winner, PMMI's highest honor for emerging leaders. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us today, Mia.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, the pleasure is all ours. So I'm always interested in how people end up in packaging. I feel like every time I talk to someone, I never get the same answer twice. So how did you make your way into this fascinating industry that we're all a part of?
So I actually just kind of stumbled into it. I was at a different company, different industry, and they weren't looking to expand their marketing department. I
Okay.
knew that's what I wanted to do, and that's where I saw my career kind of moving towards. I ended up finding Morrison on ZipRecruiter. I
Okay.
came for an interview. I fell in love with the company, and then I fell in love with the industry.
Very interesting. So how, like that's kind of a story that I've sort of heard bits and pieces of that, especially for people like I'm in the journalism, the writing side, you're in the marketing side. Like I feel like we kind of get here differently than the engineers do.
Mhm.
So how are you able to come up to speed so quickly with an entirely new industry like this?
Yeah, that's
Like
a
it's
great
not,
question.
yeah, it's not something you kind of grow up with.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where it affects your day-to-day life. You don't realize it until you get
Hmm.
into the industry and you're like, wow, pretty much everything I've ever purchased or anything I've ever bought or used has come from somewhere. And there's been this whole design behind it that you don't think about how it gets to you until you kind of got in the industry. One of
Right.
our biggest core values at Morrison is dedication to education. So they're really big on just making sure that you have the tools that you need, that you can ask all the questions that you have. And lucky for me, my very first month being at Morrison was Pack Expo International. So
That'll
to
help.
be able to go and see everything in person and ask questions and hear the conversations that our engineers and our sales reps were having with people kind of help put that whole puzzle together for me and
Okay.
see how I'm a very visual learner, being in marketing, really
Hmm.
of those things go hand in hand. So to be able to see everything in person and actually see the machines working together and see our screws or our solutions and other people's machines on a production floor or on the show floor kind of really help put things in a perspective for me.
Yeah, that's kind of like a trial by fire. That's another thing where I have run into people where sometimes that could be overwhelming because Pack Expo is so, overwhelming sometimes. But for
Mhm.
someone, other people, it is. It's a great. We kind of call it like the world's biggest classroom, and it is. It's a great way to kind of come up to speed on the industry. So that is a lucky break for you. As an emerging leader, what kind of obstacles did you face in your career, and how have you overcome them? You're new to the industry, you're a younger professional. What kind of things did you have to kind of overcome?
I want to say the biggest thing that I had to overcome, especially my first couple of years, was kind of that imposter syndrome.
Okay.
Sitting in a room with a lot of engineers and people who have been in this industry for 20 plus years, there was a lot of things that I might not have had the knowledge on to start. But the biggest thing was just asking questions. I'm lucky
Okay.
enough to work at Morrison. There are no silly questions. If you need something answered, there's always someone that has, whether it's a document or walking you through a process or showing you from A to Z how they came up with a solution. I have always had people around me who were wanted to see me succeed and helped me put those tools in place.
Beautiful. I love that. Well, you're obviously killing it. You're an On the
Thank
Rise
you.
Award winner. Things are obviously going very well out there at Morrison's. So, what kind of advice would you pass along to other young professionals, other emerging leaders, things that they should kind of to do to sort of follow the Mia Stevens path?
I love this question because everyone is on such a different path in this
Hmm.
industry, and there's so many different facets and ways that you can get into packaging. And the biggest and best bit of advice that I've ever gotten is be curious. Ask
Okay.
questions. We work in innovation, and that's what drives every company that works in packaging and manufacturing. So ask those questions. Don't be scared that you're coming in with a different level of knowledge as someone else because you're coming in with a whole new perspective. And that's what really drives this industry forward is people bringing new things to the table. So just because you haven't been here for 10, 15, 20 years, and it might be like engineering portions in my example, might not be my strong suit, asking questions, being curious, making sure that you are leaving a meeting or leaving Pack Expo or leaving an interview with your questions answered and not being scared to speak up in a room.
I love that. Well, Mia, again, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to kind of hop on here, give us a little bit about yourself, kind of put a name to the face for your profile that we're going to be attaching to this and putting up there on OEM. So thanks again, Mia, for coming on here with us.
Absolutely. This was fantastic. Thank you.